Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome William Rickert, Teachers College Board of Trustees.
Good morning. Along with Jack Hyland, I'm co-chairman of the Board of Trustees of Teachers College, and I have the honor of officially opening today's ceremony. On behalf of the entire TC community, I welcome you to the 2014 Masters Convocation. It is now my very great pleasure to introduce the President of Teachers College, Susan H. Fuhrman.
Good morning, and welcome to the most joyous occasion on the calendar of Teachers College, when we honor the talented, energetic, and dedicated women and men who are ready to lead the charge into the future. Congratulations, graduates, you made it. Congratulations as well to those who helped you make it to this day, our outstanding faculty. Our dedicated staff, and of course, your families and partners. We're also proud of our graduates today. And isn't it marvelous that this ceremony is being watched over by two magnificent birds flying above us in this majestic cathedral? What awe-inspiring works of art to contemplate as you leave TC and soar into your own future. This is a wonderful day in so many ways, a day for you to reflect on what you've accomplished at TC and to look ahead to what you hope to achieve in the years to come. And of course, this is a day to celebrate. I want you to know that you stand on the shoulders of giants, the leaders and pioneers who have walked the halls of TC for more than 125 years and have helped to change the world in so many ways. I'm particularly awed by the brilliance and insight of our founders and early leaders who nurtured this institution as a world-renowned center of new ideas, practices, and fields of inquiry. In fact, TC's visionaries also provided the blueprint for subsequent schools of education. As graduates, you can be rightly proud of the far-reaching influence of your alma mater. You are the heirs of the vision of our first dean, James Earl Russell, who called for training which would enable the student to see the relationships existing everywhere in the various fields of knowledge, even the unity of all knowledge. What a fitting way to describe the education you've received here. Russell's enduring vision is even more relevant today in our hyper-connected and turbocharged world. We need more than ever to seek knowledge, understanding, and connection. This is the TC way. I urge you to continue to put Russell's vision into action in whatever you do and whatever your sphere of influence may be, whether it be one child or an entire nation. As you go into the world armed with your TC degree, I also want you to take pride in our legacy of firsts. It's a long list and continues to grow. Consider the fields that started here. Among them are educational psychology, social studies, urban education, gifted education, conflict resolution, the community school, nursing education, arts education, dance education, nutrition education, international and comparative education, spirituality and psychology, and special education. The list is long and growing. TC also established the nation's first academic department focused on the study of curriculum and teaching, granted the first graduate degrees in physical education, and had the first School of Education program in computing and education. And remember that TC is the birthplace of the community school, the scholarly textbook, the yellow school bus, and the song, Happy Birthday. Just as TC graduates helped to shape the 19th and 20th centuries, so too will you have a lasting impact on this still young century. I'm confident you will lead the way to that better future and create your own legacy of firsts with a distinctly 21st century twist. One graduate seeking to answer a critical and a very 21st century question: how do popular social media and technologies affect the developing minds and emotions of adolescents? Rebecca Chad, who receives an MA in clinical psychology today, has been exploring that question in her research and practice. Rebecca worked with Professor Barry Farber at TC to assess the impact of Facebook and other social media on the way individuals form emotional attachments and interact with one another. But she doesn't stop there. Rebecca also works as a vocational counselor at the Adolescent Skills Center in the Bronx and conducts research with the New York State Psychiatric Institute to determine risk for dropping out or having mental health conditions among young people of low socioeconomic status. Rebecca hopes to one day go into private practice, but for now she'll do research at the nexus of psychology and technology and use psychoanalysis as a tool for understanding the relationship between identity, attachment, and social media. She says, especially in this fast-charged times, I love how psychoanalysis takes its time. It's all in the process. Rebecca, those are refreshing words in this day and age. May your journey lead to wonderful discoveries for you and the lives of those who you touch. Let me also tell you about Carly Lagroteria, who today receives her master's degree in politics and education. Carly inherited from her family a commitment to public education as the path to social and economic progress. She also caught the political bug in 4th grade when she was elected class president. At TC, Carly merged her passions for public education and politics in our Department of Education Policy and Social Analysis. She worked with EPSA faculty to organize a major conference at TC this spring on the emerging problem of segregation and inequity in the nation's suburban schools and communities. And she gained valuable experience serving as Assistant Director of Government Relations in our Department of External Affairs. Carly says TC has given her the strategies and tools to make positive change. And she adds, I'm coming away with some very smart people on speed dial. Now Carly plans to do what she can to advance public education. Her goal is to start a nonprofit PR/political consulting firm that would assist educational organizations that can't afford such services. Carly, our best wishes to you as you continue to make a difference. There are so many more wonderful stories among our graduates. You've engaged in research, learning, and practice that is helping to change lives, work that will resonate after you leave here today. So I expect great things from you as TC graduates. You're uniquely prepared to meet the complex and sometimes confounding challenges we face in our city, our nation, and our world. The challenges are very similar to those at the time of TC's founding 126 years ago. Industrialization and technology were creating both vast wealth and deep economic uncertainty. A vast new influx of people was pouring into the U.S. from nations around the world. Communities were grappling with issues of health, race relations, poverty, and education. Sound familiar? Previous generations relied on our public schools to address many of these challenges, as we must today. Historically, the American public school system has served as the very foundation upon which we build a democratic society and educate individuals from around the world to fully participate in society. American public schools are unique in the world in this regard, open to everyone, educating all, and offering hope and opportunity for a better future. However, as we all know, these days public schools are under pressure on many fronts, from major changes in curriculum and assessment, an oppressive accountability environment, to the challenge of educating students with increasingly diverse backgrounds and needs. After 60 years, after the landmark Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court decision, persistent segregation and inequity still plague our schools. Alternatives proposed as opportunities for enhanced school choice often exacerbate stratification and separation. Yes, we demand a great deal from our schools. and there is no shortage of those who find fault with the current state of public education. But there are so many positive aspects to build on and to celebrate, and so many creative and remarkable minds dedicated to our public schools. For instance, the talented and committed educators and school leaders who are graduating from TC this week. Many of you will work in some area of public education, and this is particularly exciting. As the people of TC, we all have a moral obligation to harness the power of our great institution to extend the promise and opportunity of public education for all children today and to future generations. Indeed, that's an essential part of our mission at Teachers College. So clearly, we have much work ahead to strengthen our schools and our society. Now more than ever, we must transform our schools to ensure every child has access to an excellent education. We must harness the power of technology and groundbreaking research on how the mind works to support more effective learning. We must help share policy and practice on physical and mental health to address the most pressing needs in our communities, and so much more. TC has given you a strong foundation. Now it's up to you to put your own visions into action. This is your time to seize, your moment to make a difference. Despite our daunting challenges, I know you can do this. As you go forth from here today, I urge you to honor the spirit of TC in all that you do. I want to leave you with the words of one of our founders, Nicholas Murray Butler, who wrote during another time of tremendous change and challenge, "Optimism is essential to achievement, and it is also the foundation of courage and true progress." Remember his words and look to the future with optimism and the courage to change the world. Congratulations. We have now reached the moment in this ceremony when we honor an extraordinary individual whose life's work has advanced the cause of education while upholding TC's core mission to foster excellence and equity in the fields we serve. Among those honored at past ceremonies were Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Coretta Scott King, Senator George Mitchell, Pete Seeger, Thomas Friedman, Lee Shulman, Gail Collins, Spike Lee, Linda Darling Hammond, and many others. This year we're honoring 4 eminent exemplars: Temple Grandin, International Champion of Autism Rights and Humane Treatment of Animals, and Professor of Animal Sciences at Colorado State University. Sonia Nieto, Professor Emerita of Language, Literacy, and Culture at the School of Education, University of Massachusetts, Amherst. The Reverend Dr. Calvin O. Butts III, President of the State University of New York College at Old Westbury, and pastor of the Abyssinian Baptist Church. And Nobel laureate Carl Wyman, Professor of Physics and Education at Stanford University. Professor Nieto was honored at yesterday's convocation ceremony. The Reverend Dr. Butts will be honored this afternoon. Carl Wyman will address the doctoral hooding ceremony tomorrow. Temple Grandin will be honored presently and will deliver her remarks. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Professor Lisa Miller.